folks, what's going on? And welcome back to the channel. Sorry, it was a couple days without videos, but I did have a couple of streams there, so a lot of my content was in stream form. In fact, I think that was in total about 4.5 hours of content that we had up. And I will be recording some of the battles we played into a more cinematic, typical view, and I'll be releasing those over the next week. But I wanted to bring you something special today. This is another mod spotlight, and this one was pointed out to me by Regina, who's a longtime member of my community. And she loves playing elves in campaign. And this is a mod that is Merworms, Sea Dragons, and Lothern Skycutters. And this one was put together again by Chaos Robbie. So another awesome mod that adds some really cool units for the High Elves and the Dark Elves. And we'll take a look at these units here on the battlefield in just a moment. If you want to skip ahead, you can, and just check them out on the battlefield. But just wanted to give you a little background here. It says Merworms and Sileworms are recruitable at ports for all High Elf factions. Merworms have a poison attack. The Sileworms are leadership-reducing aura. The Sileworms are also anti-large, if I remember right, so they have slightly different functions. And not only that, but Undead Aminar has also, Aminar has also been added as a mount for all the Vampire Coast faction leaders, so that's crazy. So the Vampire Coast gets to use the undead version of Aminar because Aminar is here. And he's like the most giant, amazing Merworm ever. You'll see him on the battlefield. And Sea Dragons and Helldrakes have been added for the Druchii. Sea Dragons don't fly, and there's two versions. There's like a single entity version that has a breath attack, kind of like a dragon, and then there's a smaller version that's called Helldrakes, and they are an anti-large, so it's another cool deal there. And then there's Skycutters, which are flying chariots pulled by eagles. So some really fun units that get added in here. Let's go check them out. Now folks, because Khorne loves blood and skulls so much, I make sure to use them as the sacrifices for testing out all of these really cool mod units. This right here I believe is the Sileworm. It is, and you can see here its stats, so it's going to be a strong anti-large, anti-armor unit, though only mediocre armor. Skycutters have a Regiment of Renown version. You can see them right here. They've got like a cool regen type aura thing. And so the Skycutter, let's get up close to it. Again, like a cool chariot pulled behind an eagle. Does eagle-type attack whenever you do a melee. And it's going to have these nice armor-piercing missiles. And then over here, we've got the Merworm, which is the standard variety here. Anti-armor, anti-infantry, poisonous. Very powerful units. And then we have the ridiculously large Aminar Merworm here. This one is straight anti-large, massive 750 weapon strength. 150 armor, 16,872 hit points. So this thing is absolutely gargantuan. It is a lot like a Dread Saurian, to be honest, and it has some of the same glitches that are involved with such a large unit being in the game. But it is a penultimate anti-large unit here. You're going to see it go head into these two Chaos Knights of Khorne, and it will hold its own quite well in this fight. You can see the Skycutters over here that were supporting that as well. Very cool looking units, the Skycutters. I mean, even if you didn't want to use the giant dragon things, just having Skycutters available to you would add another fun unit for the High Elves. I hope CA brings these in at least. I don't know, the worms are kind of cool though too. They could maybe be balanced, slightly differently, but still a cool unit. But I love the Skycutters, really fun unit here. I'm gonna go let you see some of these in melee combat. Make sure you get a lot of close-ups. I'll leave the stats up in case you all want to see some of these stats, but also make sure to get close up here where you can see them in their element. So again, this is the type of fight that this Merworm wants to be in, which is an infantry fight. See, I've got Imric here. I figured Imric needed some new dragons, so that's why I brought him. Imric now has land-based dragons. Sileworm already slicing through this flank. Skycutters, I think they're a fun unit in the case of fighting against Khorne here. You basically just park them behind the lines and let them shoot, or they can come in for nice charges. You'll see what these charges look like from the Skycutters. Nice flying chariot. Those are awesome looking units. Let's go back out and check on Aminar, who is easily crunching his way through this cavalry. They are having a very difficult time cutting through that armor because they don't have AP. So you can see that it would be a pretty OP unit. Now, obviously I'm pretty sure you're capped to just having one of these, and I don't know exactly how you call an Aminar in the campaign, maybe through the port as well. But yeah, so it's going to be a pretty OP type of unit. The other ones probably balanced in a little better since they're not, just sitting on top of a massive stack of armor. But I think that Aminar's supposed to be kind of like this gigantic amazing super unit anyway. I think that's the point of it. But like I said, something you don't have to use if you feel like it's just way too OP. Yeah, so the sponsor of today's video, by the way, is Khorne. So they will be providing you the blood and skulls for your enjoyment. So let's all appreciate Khorne for providing some troops to get completely manhandled and separated from their blood and skulls. So the great Chaos God Khorne being kind enough to sponsor the channel. Always appreciate it. And make sure that you visit Khorne's website for 10% off your next skull using the keyword air. There we go. See, YouTube's always encouraged me to throw in advertisements, and I always manage to do it. So yeah, the High Elves, they've got some pretty crazy new units in this one, but they're not the only ones. As mentioned earlier, the Dark Elves are going to have some unit too, and I'm going to let you see the Sea Dragons, and of course some of the worms can be brought by the Dark Elves as well, so let's go check that out and see what the Druchii get to bring to the battlefield. Alright, the Druchii. Alright, they're here. So we got the Helldrake pack. Now this is the non-single entity version of the Sea Dragons. 60 armor, nice AP weapon damage. They're going to be a unit that you throw in to support infantry, a lot like the Shabti or Crypt Horrors or something like that, just for some nice AP support. They do have the Pega Worm, however you pronounce this one. This one is going to do a lot of damage, but it's got this cool debuff here, Enfeebling Cold, which is going to drop the speed and melee attack of nearby units. So it lacks the AP, but it acts as a debuff aura. I did bring Malice with these units just for fun. I guess Lokir actually probably would have been a little bit more picturesque for this type of unit, since he's the one that's always out at sea with his Black Arcs. And I believe that's where you can recruit these Helldrake packs and stuff. I think Black Arcs are involved. And here's the single entity Sea Dragon. I'm actually about to use this Briny Breath attack here. That looks pretty sweet. It's supposed to be kind of like, you know, corrosive seawater type of attack. And then, of course, they do have the Sio Worm as well in Druchii colors over here. Or actually, I think it's the same colors. I may be wrong. Anyway, it's a nice anti-large tool. Not quite as invincible as Aminar, but then the Sea Dragon, also a powerful single entity unit that I'm going to throw in over here. Let you all see these. Sea Dragon looks pretty awesome, to be honest. It's kind of, I think it's got the animations from like a, what do you call them? It's the Tomb King unit, the Tomb Knights or whatever they were called. That, you know, goes zooming around. They have the kind of the serpentine effect. So I think that's where they took the animation from, and then obviously added some dragon pieces to it. Looks very nice. Chaos Robbie did a good job. I'll swing back across the line here so you can see the Helldrakes. So again, I was using the Helldrakes here in order to just kind of support infantry. They've got some nice effects going on, similar animations and stuff too. Going to be very nice to combine with, say, maybe lower tier Druchii infantry for some extra damage. Or, I mean, honestly, you can throw them in with some higher tier infantry for just a really hard 1-2 punch. And you can see it's working. So the forces of Khorne donating their skulls quite quickly in this regard. And let's check out the Pega Worm, or Pega Worm, however you say this one here. So again, it's got that nice debuff, which is going to be taking away some of Khorne's attack. Though Khorne still comes lumbering in with some pretty massive attack. Some sweet units. So this is a cool mod from Chaos Robbie. If you want to check this one out, I have it linked in the description. And of course, I'm going to have a comment pinned down below too. What mods do you want to see me check out next? Someone else mentioned the Albion mod from like the Lost Factions. I do believe that the Great Book of Grudges made a video on that one. And I can make a video to follow it up, but I want to make sure and mention that so it doesn't seem like that I'm just like, oh, I'll just copy what he's doing. So yeah, because I'm not the only one on YouTube. In fact, I'm one of the YouTubers for Total War who probably spends the least amount of time making videos because my full-time job and family keep me extremely busy. So a lot of these guys have way more time to throw into it, so they're way ahead of me, leagues ahead of me. So they've probably made a lot of these videos, so again, if you see one that I've made that someone else did, it's not because I'm trying to rip them off, it's just because I'm late to the game. In any case, hope you all enjoyed this one, and like I said, get down there, comment on what else you want to see in terms of mod spotlights. It seems like you all like these videos. I kind of like making them. It's fun. See cool new units that honestly I'll probably try in some of my future campaigns. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I'll see you all soon.